This is an official audio log from Reformation Abroad.
Salutations and a very friendly hello from your friends at the Global Protection Agency. With our Reformation Abroad program, we've teamed up with prison reform organizations across North America to offer the opportunity of a lifetime for those incarcerated. Those lucky inmates will be tasked with removing highly classified global waste by firing crates of this waste into a black hole. To find out more about this trustworthy and ecologically virtuous program, be sure to check out Reformation Abroad wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for The Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Martin's Glaring, adapted by Ted Harris and Lindsay Harris-Friel. Once upon a time, a young man was traveling alone at night. His car broke down. He had tried to fix it, but he realized he had to get a mechanic, so he began walking through the woods. The woods were unfamiliar. He had never been there before. After a little while, he realized he was lost. He wanted to get home as quickly as possible so he could see his family. It was a blustery night with clouds skidding across the sky and high winds that sprinkled chilly rain. He was tired, hungry, cold, and scared. He walked a good way, trying to get his bearings, when he came upon a cabin in the woods. At least it will give me shelter for a little while, he thought. He knocked at the door, but no one answered. He knocked again, but no one answered. The third time, the door swung open at his knock. Gently, he stepped inside and looked around. The cabin had a very pleasant feel inside. There was a cozy bed and a table with a couple of chairs. On the table was a good meal, fruit and cheese and cold meat and apple cider. Red curtains hung on the windows, and a warm fire crackled the fireplace. On the floor near the hearth was a cozy, soft, braided rag rug. The man looked around to see if anyone was home, but no one was there. He saw the food and he said, "This food will just go bad if no one eats it. I'm sure they wouldn't mind if I had something to tide me over." Once the man tasted the food, he couldn't stop. Before he knew it, he had eaten 3 whole plates of delicious food. The man warmed himself at the fire in the fireplace. He could feel his eyes drooping. He could feel himself getting heavy for the good food of the warm fire. He thought to himself, "I'm sure they wouldn't mind if I lay down for a little while on this cozy bed." Before he knew it, he was soon asleep. The good food, the warm fire, done their work. A little while later, he woke up. A small white kitten, soft as a snowball, sat curled in the soft braided rug in front of the fire. He looked at the kitten. It purred and blinked softly. "That's a good little cat," thought the man. He thought, "That's strange. I didn't notice a kitten before," but soon he was asleep again. After a little while, the man woke up again and saw what looked like a second cat right next to the kitten. This one was dark brown, muscular and strong, a full-grown cat with brown eyes and as big as a wolf. "Shall we do it now?" said the cat. "No, let's wait until Martin comes," said the kitten. And thought to himself, "I must be dreaming," and fell back asleep. He woke again to find the kitten and the brown cat, joined by a third big cat, curled up on the rug before the fire. This cat was as black as the night and as big as a panther. "Shall we do it now?" said the cat. "No, let's wait until Martin comes," said the kitten and the cat. The man thought, "This is the craziest dream I've ever had in my life." He struggled to get out of bed, but he was so exhausted that he fell back asleep. After tossing and turning in fevered dreams for a while, he woke again and saw a fourth cat. This cat was stone gray and as big as a tiger, stretched out by his companion cats. The fourth stone gray cat stared hungrily at the man, licking his chops. "Shall we do it now?" said the stone gray cat. "No, "No," said all the other cats. "Let's wait until Martin comes." Just then, the wind rose outside, pushing the clouds away from the shining full moon. Beams of moonlight showered into the cabin's window, illuminating the weary traveler in the shadows of the darkness. And then the man's haunches rose. He doubled down in pain. His bones crackled and snapped as they shifted. His nose and jaw stretched into a muzzle. His teeth swelled into razor-sharp fangs. His mouth turned black. His limbs stretched and his shoulders shifted. The hair on his head stood at end, and his ears stretched to furry peaks. Thick, coarse hair sprouted from all over his body. The cats, one and all, from big to small, were frozen in shock and surprise. They never would have laid this trap for him if they had known. As Amber Eyes Quincy said, "I'll save Morton for dessert." Martin's Glaring was adapted from an old American folktale by Ted Harris and Lindsay Harris Friel. Read by Ted Harris. Directed by Lindsay Harris Friel. Sound designed by Vincent Friel. Produced by 6630 Productions.
$6630 Productions.
Do you dig science fiction? Then get ready for the hardest-hitting sci-fi you've ever heard. The Galactic Football League series by #1 New York Times bestselling author Scott Sigler is now a free, unabridged podcast. It's Star Wars meets Peaky Blinders meets Ted Lasso. The GFL is a star-spanning, high-action, high-stakes, coming-of-age story set against the backdrop of a professional football league 700 years in the future. Follow the journey of Quentin Barnes, a gifted athlete who must travel from his backwater system to the galaxy's sprawling empires in his quest to be the best there's ever been. But he needs to watch his back as organized crime runs every franchise, fixing games and assassinating rival players. That's the Galactic Football League series. Search for Scott Sigler, Sigler, wherever you get your podcasts. If you want a person dead, you call a hitman. If you want a monster dead, you call Lincoln Franks. But you better be able to pay the price he asks, because Lincoln doesn't work for free. Pay to slay, bitches. Slay Season 2 is the current season of Scott Sigler Slices, a fiction podcast with dark tales hacked from the mind of a #1 New York Times bestselling author. Slay is a foul-mouthed, monster-killing, drug-addled anti-hero story that's John Wick meets Buffy meets Breaking Bad. Slay Season 1 is complete and waiting for you in the feed, as is Scott's short story anthology, Blood is Red. Scott Sigler Slices is the world's longest-running fiction podcast, 19 years and counting, with new episodes dropping every Sunday. Get Scott Sigler Slices on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.